Okay, so let's talk about the High Priestess and the Four of Pentacles. So if you are a beginner and you're trying to learn combinations, you might want to try this. So we're going to do this using mind maps. So you just start with one card and you just brainstorm your mind map around it. You could look up definitions and just pick some keywords that you want. I would advise you, if you do that, to also just look at the card itself and just put descriptors of the card itself on there as well. As in, like, this is a female, this is feminine. There's a woman on the card. I see the moon, so I'm going to put moon. There's the moon on the card. There's pomegranates on this little what do you like, a little sheet behind her, whatever. She's seated. You can write that down. And then you can add, like I said, what, definitions that you have that you use, or you look them up. So one of the things about the High Priestess is she is a keeper of secrets. She is about the lineage of women. If you want to expand on any of these points, you can. So not only is she a feminine, but she is let's just put spiritual. She's also spiritual. Like she's a spiritual leader. Let's put that. She's like the female pope. She's the High Priestess. The pomegranate has to deal with the underworld. The moon has to do with changeability. Changeable. Let's put just changeable. Put changeable. Okay? So that's probably enough for that. Then we go on. When you have numbered cards like this, you can always put the number and the suit. Because those are two descriptors of the card. And so then you would put your keywords that you use for pentacles. So pentacles are material world. It can be about jobs. It can be about work. Can be about support. These are pentacle keywords. The fours are stable. They're about support also. They are kind of static. The fours are. The four always reminds me of a box, so you can write box down. And then you can put some descriptors that are on the card. Or you can write some descriptors of what's on the card. So there's a man. He's seated. He has a crown. There's a city behind him. And so you just have that. So then you start looking at these, this list of things, and you can go back and add on or add more details about anything you want. Like you could like really go off on this keeper of secrets thing, and it's like, okay, well, she's got the book of Torah, their book, and then it's her robes hide things. The robes hide, and then you could just go, you can go off on whatever you want to go off on. And then you start thinking, okay, how do I get this set of things linked together with this set of things? Like, what kind of things come together here? So, like, we notice here that they're both seated. So then we have the idea of, I would say, like, control or composure. Um, what I'm looking for things. There's not a lot in common between these two cards. Sometimes you'll have cards that have like way more overlap. Um, I think we have more differences here. Like this is a woman, that's a man. Um, the High Priestess is more about spiritual things and about secrets and mysteries. And we have this card, and this is it's more about the material world and stability. And see here, this is changeable and this is stable. So they're more opposites than they are overlapping the same. So that's something to keep in mind. So it's like we have this and we have that. So if we were trying to put the meanings together, we have that juxtaposition of two opposite things. But we do have the commonality of control and composure here. So if you wanted to combine them, like one of the things would be like, this is, the High Priestess is a spiritual leader operating in the material world. So you're like spiritual leader in material world. Well, who or what does that remind you of? Well, that reminds me of Oprah, right? Because Oprah is kind of a spiritual leader of feminine, of feminine issues, working with women. She does have a spiritual bent, but she operates very much in the material world. I mean, she had a TV show. She made a lot of money. She created a magazine. She has a media company, and who knows what else. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you have this idea of like this leader of under women and women's topics, and working with women on things, and it's happening in this spiritual world. If you try to put some kind of context in this, so like that, I was talking like so that's like a job or a person. If it was a situation, it could be something like, some kind of, let's see where I have room to write, some kind of a spiritual, some kind of religious organization, and their funding or fundraising, because that's bringing in the whole money. I didn't even write money down. I don't know why I didn't do that. Money. That's one of the big pentacles things. Duh. Money. So, it's the idea of this, religious aspect, wanting interface and, get money, get financial support, right? Are you kind of getting the idea here? Or then you even have the idea of like this 4 with this box and being stable and static, like trying to somehow kind of box in femininity. Like you have that idea comes out of that. So I don't know if this is helpful or not, but it's like this is the kind of work that you do when you're combining tarot cards. It's not a completely like linear process where you're just like, oh, okay, well, if this plus this equals this, you know what I mean? It's not like a formula that you plug in. It's, it's going to depend on the spread, because if this was an actual spread like this card would be, under the meaning of, this is the advice, and this might be under the meaning of, this is the problem or something, you know what I mean? And so that changes it, because then you're like, oh, the 4 is the problem and this is the advice. So if this was the problem, then it means, okay, you're focusing on material things and material solutions and material goals, and the advice is to get a little more spiritual, get a little more intuitive, get a little more into the mystery of the whole thing, and kind of pull yourself out of this, right? Does that make sense? So that's how it works with tarot. So Let me know if you like this kind of setup. I will do more of these because we got 78 cards and that's lots of combinations. So for now, this is the High Priestess and the Four of Pentacles.